Okay, Laid to Rest is one of those movies where, when I first read some things about it, it seemed fairly positive. And then I saw on Bloody Disgusting, it was actually one of, I think, 2009, 2010's, like, worst movies. And I was like, okay, I vary from time to time from Bloody Disgusting and actually think some movies, so I gave it a shot. And it opens with the woman essentially stuck in a coffin. And she's essentially being chased by a fantastically designed villain for a low-budget movie. You have a guy who essentially from like here down, black suit, chrome skull, and a video camera on his shoulder. So you get that weird sort of like voyeuristic point of view when they show him doing his killings. He's later revealed to be this serial killer, but they never found any of the bodies. All they find instead is the tapes. Small cast, tight-knit cast, and it's pretty much this woman, she has amnesia trying to figure out who she is, where she's at, and why this guy who's got just fantastic appeal from a distance shot. Reminds me of an old D&D character that I played, where I had like a silver, like a silver skull mask, and everything else was like black and purple. So when you see the contrast of almost no body and almost like a fully disembodied shiny skull, it looks fantastic. Whereas when it begins to kind of fall apart, is with the cast being really small. If somebody isn't that good of an actor, like when they finally make it to, they make it to a scene where they're at a like a convenience store, gas station. And the other characters just all of a sudden don't seem to kind of gel as well. Yeah, it does a good job with some of the transitions from like spot to spot. Picked up as a hitchhiker, and the guy's like, we gotta take care of her, but we don't know what's going on. We don't have a phone. We can't get a hold of anybody. Somebody tries to email the police, and they're like, if it's a real emergency, you dial 911. So they do a good job on the whole you can't get a hold of the cops. And in fact, they are literally in the middle of nowhere. Actually kind of works. But the more development of the main character, well, I'll just call Chrome Skull, that's what he's called in the sequels, doesn't really seem to kind of go anywhere. It does kind of have that, almost like the Strangers sort of feel to it, where it's a guy who's killing people for the sake of a guy who's killing people. They find where all the bodies are at, and they're primarily women. So it's going along pretty good. And some of the kills are actually, pretty decent and violent. You can tell they had a little more money in the budget, it'd be a little bit crisper, but all in all, not bad. But when it finally comes down to, she finds out who she is, and it's like, oh, I was hoping for something a little bit more, but given the way she looks and the way she was dressed, that kind of makes sense. And then dealing with the villain at the very end, it was kind of like, It had that weird, slow build up, a nice methodic. And then it was like, well, we got like 5 minutes. What? We only got 5 minutes left for this movie. And done. So it's not bad. They do mention that it is try to fall into the lanes of almost kind of like a torture gore porn sort of thing. But the torture, aside from the coffin part, which I thought to be actually pretty decent, that's a great opening, stuck in a coffin. There really isn't that much in the way of torture. You see bits and pieces on some of the films, but the gore is okay. Again, if you're going for something that's supposed to be really over the top and bloody and violent, you expect there to be more. So it definitely writes a check that it doesn't actually fully cash. Not a bad movie, just it felt like from where it was going to be a lot better than it was.